The new channel. The new channel. Hashtag TNC Now.
The views, opinions, and insights expressed in the following shows are those of the host, producers, guests, and viewers. They do not necessarily reflect the position of the channel. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to the new channel. Our passion transforms a community that sees all things new. In behalf of my co-host, Ms. Carmic Pascual de Leon, and this is Julia Rubilios, I'd like to, I'm streaming live from La Bella, Tagaytay. And again, welcome everyone. And of course, tonight ay talaga namang super blessed tayo because hindi lang gifted yung person na guest natin tonight. But tonight, our guest is actually the person responsible for a very, very big change sa health and, ng mga bata. Ayan, yan ang mga pag-uusapan natin ngayon. And of course, again, good day and good evening, everyone. And tonight, of course, hindi ko na patatagalin, no? Yung guest natin tonight is a trailblazer, an innovative leader in her field, striking out a new ground and blazing a trail for others to follow. No wonder she has been the recipient of international awards and honors for her work many times over. Our guest is a practicing dermatologist, a registered pharmacist, and an international board-certified lactation consultant. Ayan, marami tayong pag-uusapan tungkol dyan. And of course, she is a strong supporter of public health, embracing the concerns of all humanity. But she is best known as a staunch advocate of breastfeeding as the most far-reaching and cost-efficient strategy to alleviate poverty. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our special guest for tonight, Dr. Elvira L. Henares-Esguerra. Ayan, naku, nauna pala ako. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, hindi ko na patatagalin dahil sayang ang time. I'd like to welcome our special guest for tonight, Dr. Elvira L. Henares-Esguerra.
Hello. Hello and good evening to all.
Ayan, sobrang excited ako, Doktora. Pasensya na po.
Yes,
Ayan, Doktora, good evening po.
Good evening.
Ayan, ako, talagang sobrang excited ako na introduce kayo. I was reading your bio and like, wow, sobra akong na-overwhelmed. But anyway, I'm sure naman pag sinerch ninyo sino si Dr. Elvira, talaga naman pong ma-inspire kayo ng gusto. And Doktora, hindi kaya ng ang dami-dami ng pages nung binasa ko po ito talaga. When I was we were discussing, I was trying to get to know you, di ba, before pa. At nabanggit mo sa akin that, tatlong simpleng-simple lang ang pangarap mo sa buhay, childhood dreams mo eh. Tatlo lang sabi mo, to marry the right man. And ako, witness ako dyan. Hindi lang tall and handsome, very intelligent and very humble and very kind person, no, si Dr. Esguerra. And of course, be a very good mother, mother to your children. 'Di ba? Isa 'yun sa mga dream mo po, doktora, no? And then of course, mag-contribute sa humanity. And with all these awards, with all these achievements, doktora, ako lang isang tanong ko lang is that how are you able to put balance doon sa role mo as a mother and then as a wife kasi yun ang dream mo talaga and then of all the responsibilities ng inyong advocacy. Maybe you can share it to our audience tonight.
Yeah, I mean, actually, it was so overwhelming for me because all I wanted was those three things, right? To find the right husband, to be a good mother to the children that I would, help him get, and of course to do something for humanity. And I really didn't know how I would do that. But that was my daydream every day from prep, diba, or nursery, all the way up to high school. Hindi really easy po. That's why I was really never present in class. I would be seeing faceless figures, and I figured out later that they were figures of the family. So that was really what I wanted, to have a very stable family life. And then, of course, how to help the country because my father is a nationalist. My father, Henares, has done a lot for the country. He's been the advisor to many presidents, and he has always made a difference. So I thought that I would like to, um, you know, to, I want to be like him, right? So, um, how to balance it? Actually, it's nothing that I humanly planned to. I knew I wanted that, and I threw it out in the universe. I just said, as I was saying to you another time, I actually went to the mountains, okay, in New Zealand to see the first sunrise of the millennium. And when I was there, I threw my wishes to the Lord. And my wishes were about family and about, helping humanity. And they seemed so conflicting. It's like I wanted another child and I wanted to breastfeed a child, but at the same time, I wanted to be out and doing a mission. Because in my mind, helping humanity was to be a barrio doctor and to deal with, herbal medicines. I said, I can't do that because I'm in Manila, right? And my children are studying here, my husband's here. How can I be out there and yet be close to my family physically? So everything I asked the Lord was all conflicting. But I told him, these are what I want. Just give me one of those six things I'm asking you. Just one, and I'll be happy. And what God did was He, heavenly put it all together. Everything I asked, six things, and He put it in one thread, and it all answered my wishes. So what are these? I asked for another child, but at that age I was already 44. Then I asked to breastfeed that child for a long time because I wasn't able to breastfeed my first two children properly. Then I asked for what do you call this, the practice of dermatology and the practice of pharmacy. Why was I asking that? Because the first part of my married life, I was a stay-home mom because I knew that that was all I wanted to be, a mother. And when I would come home from the hospital, my I had to study. So in other words, my daughter really didn't know me. And I didn't have the breastfeeding experience with her. So she was asking for everybody else except me. And it really hurt me deeply. So I made a pa- I mean I decided that I was going to, once I finish all my academic, pursuits, I was going to stay home and just be a stay home mom and be involved in her life and the life of my second child as well. And then I wanted the passion, uh, of helping others, because in when I was in UP, I was into social action. I was an activist actually. But then when you start to stay home, you become distanced, di ba, from the concerns of the world. So I wanted to go back and do something for humanity. And the sixth wish I asked for is that I would be able to get the support of my husband and children in what I am doing. And my problem there was, if I were to be a barrio doctor, I would be far from them. How do you do that? So I said, God, just give me any one of that and I will be happy. And it was
Wow.
so beautiful how God put it all together. If you really know my story, I mean, he just put it together in a beautiful thread, and I was able to get everything I wanted. But I only was,
Oh, wow.
yeah, I was
That's
only
really inspiring.
aware of it
Yeah.
after it was all done.
Wow. Anyway, Doktora, sobrang inspired. Sabi ko nga, I was reading your bio, no? Doon sa breastfeeding society ba yun? Kasi ko, oh my gosh, parang sobrang young looking pa rin siya, no? Of course, ano yan eh, given daw yan, nasa genes yata yan, no? Pero I saw you in person talaga. We've been together for like, we've been talking a lot, no, several times na. And then sabi ko, wow, still yung smile on your face. Every time nakikita kita, yung smile hindi kita nakasimangot eh. Kahit sobrang stressed ka na preparing everything, parang always smiling. And di ba kasi yung advocacy mo, it's something na medyo very, very challenging, di po ba? It's like a Goliath and a giant. Na parang Goliath and David yung laban na yon, Doktora, no? And
Talaga.
yeah, sobrang ano yun, David and Goliath yun eh, na laban yun. Kasi it's not an ordinary industry. I mean, worldwide. I mean, buong mundo yan, Doktora, no, na alam natin it's not an ordinary fight. And along the way, di ba, syempre, maraming challenges yan. Like, may time ka for the family, no? And then, merong biglang may call dito sa iyong advocacy. Paano mo nagawa yun? What inspires you and what was there, no? Kumbaga parang pinaka motivation mo. Bakit tuloy-tuloy mo siyang ginawa despite the fact na madaming challenges?
No, kasi, what is so beautiful about my wishes to God, no, was that they were all connected. As I said, I stayed home for so many years just to be, involved, an involved mother with my children. I was always with my children. So when the time came that they were already older and I asked them for help, I said, I mean, because my children asked me for a third child. I thought I was staying with home with them until the time that they were going out already. They were finding their own friends. They asked me for a third child. And so when they did, and I was pregnant at the age of 44, no? So when I was preparing, my body for this pregnancy, my children promised to help me. So I realized that because I stayed home to be with them, I was able to get a relationship with my family members. That when it was my turn to find, when it was already dealing with my needs to find my purpose in life, my children and my husband, returned it to me. So the years that I was staying home, they returned it to me when it was my turn because they knew I needed help. Imagine having a child at the age of 44. Physically, that was challenging. And then when I delivered the baby, I almost died, actually. So I really noticed, Julia, that God, when you ask and you wish for something, God doesn't put your wish on a silver platter and say, here it is. In other words, if you ask for patience, God does not give you patience. He gives you an opportunity to be patient. So when I asked him, I want to be with my children, with my family, he gave me the opportunity to be a stay-home mom. And my husband was able to support that I did not need to work. Diba? So everything fell into place. And when I got pregnant with the third child, the child that my other two children were asking for, um, what do you call this? I asked God for to be able to breastfeed that second child, the third child, because I wasn't able to breastfeed the other two. And ang ganda kasi the challenge that he gave me is I almost died on the operating table. I was bleeding. So he gave me an opportunity to that I had to breastfeed, because if I didn't breastfeed, I would have died. You know? So he gave me the opportunity to breastfeed, but showed me what breastfeeding can do. And because I realized what breastfeeding can do, I said, wow, so many people, so many lives can be saved if I move on this. So that's why I was able to move on it. But who helped me? Who helped me, keep the family together? The whole family. They were with me. And then, Julia, I wanted to let you know that I had a saying in my mind that kept me going. Because you're asking me, how did you get through those challenges? I would always regard the challenges, okay, not as objections to close the doors of the mind, but you look at them as obstacles to be overcome with grit and determination. So every time you are given a challenge, you know that if you ask God for something, He will not just give it to you. You will have to earn it. So He will give you a challenge that at the end of the challenge, you would have gotten your wish. It's
Yes,
so
I
beautiful.
agree.
At the same time, He'll make you work for it. And at the same time, He gives you free will. And what does free will mean? It means, okay, you wish this, I will give you a challenge so that you'll be able to get it. Now, do you accept the challenge? If you have the free will to actually accept the challenge and do it all the way, or not. And that's when free will comes in. So when the challenges came, they were really big. They were really big, meaning I had to change mindsets of people, of the leaders of the country, of mothers themselves, to be willing to breastfeed, because it's a gift God has given your child through you. They were it was changing mindsets. Ang hirap niyan talaga, Julia. But because I looked at it in a way na, I can't give up. I asked I asked for my purpose, and God gave me an opportunity to work on it. So I have to finish it. And that has always been my motto. When you begin something, end it. You
Yes,
never
exactly.
stop in the middle because it's not convenient anymore. You know? And God gives you the grace. All you have to do is ask for it. I mean, many
Yes.
times I'd say, Lord, ang hirap nito. Tulungan mo ako. You bigyan mo ako ng tao that will help me. Give me back the what do you call this? The,
The
the
passion,
energy.
the patience, yes.
Yeah, give it back. I mean, help me, help me. And when I ask, he does. He finds
Yes.
situations, somebody, when I'm worried, somebody will pass by and smile at me. That person that I don't even know. But I
Yes.
know in my heart that God has sent that person to lift my spirits at that moment in time when I needed it. Diba?
Yeah, I agree. Grabe. Sobrang nakaka-inspire talaga yung inyong advocacy, Doctor. Actually, yun nga as I was reading the bio, sabi ko, wow. Kasi nga 'di ba, ang alam ko lang you're doing this breastfeeding advocacy and everything. And then you were saying na nakakonect pala siya sa purpose. So, kasi yun ang wish mo. Kaya nga sabi, when you ask God, 'di ba, ibibigay niya talaga. Kaya parang si David, 'di ba? Ay si King Solomon pala 'yon, no. Nung humingi siya na, "Oh, give me the wisdom to manage this very very big group na ito na responsibility ko." Ang sinabi ni Lord, dahil yan ang hiningi mo, bibigyan pa kita ng riches and honor. And in your case, Doctor, you were saying, connected siya sa purpose mo. Pero ang wish mo talaga no, is to be a good wife, a good mother, and then God gave you that opportunity na mag-breastfeeding, then yun ang wish mo to be a good mother. And you changed not just the Philippines, I believe I think the whole of Asia and the Philippines and the whole world, di ba? Kasi
Yes.
nabasa ko, nasa Book of Records kayo, no? We won that award. And sabi ko, wow, grabe yon, ano. But anyway, kanina narinig ko sabi ninyo, pag hiningi mo kay Lord, no, bibigyan ka ni Lord ng challenge. So, tama po ba na sinasabi niyo, kapag binigyan ka na ng challenge, dahil hiningi mo, ready mo na may challenge. Kailangan ready ka rin to accept kung gaano kalaki yung responsibility ng challenge na yun. Now, along the way, Dr. Going back to my previous question, di po ba? Because you were fighting big pharma companies. They're one of the, hindi lang marami yun, no? Malaking-malaking, multinational companies. And of course, you need the support of the government na minsan mahirap basta makuha yon. And I think the most challenging is to change the mindset of the mothers. Kasi we've been used to, feeding them with, the children, feeding them with the formula. And kanina parang nakita ko yung magic line, no, na sinabi nyo, you almost died. And then because you were breastfeeding, you saved, it saved your life. As a doctor, yes. So gusto ko lang pong itanong for ordinary mga viewers natin na wala sa medical field po. How is it related na kasi sabi nyo, because you were breastfeeding, na-save yung life ninyo. Paano po yun connected?
Because if you notice, when you're breastfeeding, the milk has to come out. So when it comes, the milk has to come out of your breast, right? So the one that causes the milk to come out is the suck of the baby. All right. When the baby sucks, there are muscles inside your breast that squeezes the milk out of the ducts into the areola or into the nipple and out into the baby. So when you are delivering your baby, there's a lot of blood that comes out. Remember, the baby is part of, that there's a placenta with the baby. And that placenta has to be pulled out. And so there is bleeding that happens. So when the baby breastfeeds, the muscles of the breasts are bringing out the milk so the baby can drink it. But at the same time, there's a connection of the breast muscles and the uterine muscles. When the breast muscles are, go into spasm or squeeze out, so does the uterine muscles. They are connected. Remember that when you breastfeed, you'll notice that when you're breastfeeding up here, you're uncomfortable in your tummy. It's also squeezing. So when you breastfeed, the muscles in the breast squeezes to bring out the milk. The muscle in the uterus also squeezes so that the blood will stop flowing out.
Wow.
Actually, why many mothers die during birth in the province, because they're not breastfeeding anymore. So what is stopping the bleeding? Right? So that's why when that happened, and God didn't just make me breastfeed. He gave me a situation wherein I had to. Because if I did not, I would bleed to death. Breastfeeding made my healing much faster. And because I was put in that situation, my first two children were lamasa, natural spontaneous delivery. I had no problems. But this third child was a cesarean operation. So there was no squeezing of the child. That's why the baby came out maga, because there's no squeezing that can go through the vagina.
So, kaya importante pala yung na ma-educate sila.
Yes, that's why when I realized that, oh my God, many mothers in the provinces die because they do not do that breastfeeding, act that God meant to let you do, so that you are safe. The bleeding will stop. I realized, oh my God, They should know this. And I realized it because I experienced it. Diba? God
Yeah,
didn't
yeah, yeah. Mm.
make my breastfeeding experience easy. He gave me a hard time so that I would know how to explain it to other mothers. So now,
Okay.
that's why it's very, and just to let you know, no, I mean, a thought came into my mind. You're asking me the challenges that I had, during this breastfeeding advocacy. Number one, the milk companies offered me 200 million pesos just so that I will keep my mouth shut. Because I was
Wow.
going to the Senate and the Congress, and I was fighting for policies that will protect mothers. They offered me so much money. This is in 2005. So 200 million is a lot now. What more was it then? It was a lot of money. And they were, you know, they found ways of trying to give it to me, you know what I mean? Making it look like it was not a bribe, but it was. You know, how would you look at me, if you knew that I took money, right, from milk companies? So because of that, it was God really gave me a challenge. Free will. Will you take that bribe or not? I did not. And the more I went out and fought them. And then
Wow.
they murdered our lawyer. We had a solicitor general from the government fighting for us. He was murdered with his son during this campaign. Okay. And the third one is that this company, this milk company, YF, okay, they sold possibly contaminated milk formulas. Why contaminated? Because they were wet during the storm in 2006 millennium. And they continued to sell it. So there were rust in the cans. They continued to sell it. And so my group, okay, my father, Nona, and I exposed it. And the milk companies threw a case against the Department of Health for, for following us, for fighting for breastfeeding. So, in other words, we were able to bring that story and expose Wyatt. And after that, they were asked to recall all these milk formulas. And then the
Oh,
fourth challenge is that we were talking about trade and industry. So therefore, the American, which is the American Chamber of Commerce, okay, they're very powerful. These are the lobbyists, the American businessmen. They were threatening President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo to stop this breastfeeding campaign because it is disturbing Philippine American trade. This was in a letter that the president gave to the Congress to discuss. And when we heard about that, my father, Nona, and I, we stormed the gates of the Congress and said, "There's something happening here. Get us involved." And that's, I mean, can you imagine? That is a big challenge. Not taking a bribe, people around you being killed. And that's why it was important for us to be in the media so that if anything happened to us, it would be easy to find the person that hurt you. Kasi ang
yeah.
ingay-ingay, di ba? So talagang very, very big challenges. But I asked for it. I asked the Lord, give me a child. Let me breastfeed the child. Give me the passion. Give me
Courage.
the
I think the Lord
courage.
gave you courage, yes.
UP, I was from UP. I was an activist. Give it back to me. And, he gave me lactivism, activism for breastfeeding, lactivism. So it gave me the courage. And Julia, God gave me my father. Imagine if I were to do
Yeah.
all this without my father around. And people were afraid of my father because he writes. He writes, he's on
Yes.
TV, and radio, he's in the newspaper. And so his opinions mattered. But if I didn't
Yeah.
have my father, that they were afraid of, and my father who connected me to the right people, this would not have happened. So I realize now that this was God's plan at my birth, right? And He made me take up all those courses, dermatology, breastfeeding, pharmacy, everything that was relating to breastfeeding. So I was able to use it in my advocacy.
Yeah, alam niyo, Doktora, I think my personal, parang take, no, is that you are so blessed because, of course, God gave you that curse. But I think the most important is that you have your family, no, the Dr. Esguerra supporting your children, and you have Mr. Larry Henares, of course, no? Talagang pag sinabi ng siguro ng dad mo na, go Elvira, kaya mo yan, kinaya ko yan, kaya mo yan. And I think yun nga yun sabi nyo nga, bata pa kayo, gifted na talaga kayo, and God has a purpose. And I'm so blessed, no? So privileged to have known you. And talagang konti na lang, no? Actually, medyo nag-overtime na tayo ng 1 minute, Doktora, but I don't want to miss this, no? Syempre, hanggang ngayon, you still have that advocacy. Ibang advocacy naman. Next time, pag-uusapan natin yun sa mga future interviews natin. Pero, siguro isa lang ang pwede kong ma-request sa inyo. What will you say to the viewers ngayon just to inspire them, no? The mothers out there. Kasi, yung advocacy ninyo ng breastfeeding, sabi nyo nga, it alleviates poverty and it saves lives, no? So, I'm sure may mga mothers pa dyan na kailangan ma-educate sila dahil sabi nga, when they are educated, ma-liberate sila. So, anong gusto niyo i-advise sa mga mothers ngayon na nakikinig sa atin, no? Katatapos lang ng Mother's Day. Bukas pala ay sa Sunday, Father's Day na yata, or in 2 weeks time. So anyway, ano po ang i-advise niyo sa mga mothers na nakikinig ngayon o sa mga fighters na kagaya mo, Doktor?
Well, before I say what my last message, I just wanted to put also on the table, no, that I was so courageous to breastfeed my son that I delivered at the age of 45. I breastfed him for 7 years. So can you imagine? I'm breastfeeding a child from 45 years old to 52. That was very brave. 2 years old, I was still breastfeeding. So ang ibig, because breastfeeding is child-led. So it's when the child, up to when the child wants. But just doing that was very brave. Because parang, I'm sure other people thought, what the hell? This girl is breastfeeding, she's 52 years old, But it was because my husband and my family supported me and didn't make me feel like it was, it made me feel like it was normal and that it was good. So these were the challenges I had. So what I'd like to leave with the audience is to remember that during the act of breastfeeding, you can be a hero. During the act of breastfeeding and in the midst of your loved ones, in the confines of your very comfortable home, you can be a hero in the eyes of your baby, a hero in the eyes of your older children, a hero in the eyes of your husband, a hero in the eyes of your relatives, of the community, of the country, and of the world. You are just doing what you should do. And it's all in the comfort of your home. And doing it make you a hero to the world. So please do it.
Wow.
It is a gift to your baby. It is not
Be a hero to the family.
Yes.
Yes, be a hero. Nako, ang ganda naman. Dapat pa ng title, How to be a Hero to Your Family. And ang napansin ko, Doktora, yung nagbe-breastfeed ng mga bata, very healthy po sila. Yung immune system nila mataas. And siguro ang breastfeeding nakakabata din, no, ng mga mommy. So pag nakakabata yun, di ba? Kasi kayo ang bata nyo tingnan eh. I'm sure, bawal kasi magbanggit ng edad dito, pero alam ko, happy birthday mo lang, no?
I will announce I'm 67 years old.
O, di ba? Galing, 67 years old na kayo. Wow. Hindi Kaya gagayahin ko kayo, kaya lang hindi na ako pwede magpa-breastfeed. Dahil ano na ako, magsi-60 na rin ako. But anyway, ako maraming salamat, Doktora. Talagang wala na lang po talaga tayong time, and I wish my co-host is here. But anyway, maraming salamat talaga po for sharing your advocacy, your passion. And of course, pasalamat din po kami sa mga sponsor namin, Doktora. One of our sponsors yung ating pong barley na mga products po, lalo na kailang vitamin C. And of course, yung ating ASEA products. So, sponsor din po namin dito. Kaya again, maraming salamat. And to all our viewers, please watch us again on Friday at 7 o'clock in the evening po. Same channel, Inspiring Moments at TNC. Dr. Elvira, maraming salamat. God bless you. And of course, God bless you po, pati pa mga pamilya mo, pati kay Dr. Esguerra. Maraming salamat.
Thank you, and thank you for the opportunity to share with you my blessings. Thank you.
And see you next week po ulit.
All right. Thank you.
$86,400. That's how many seconds you have in a single day. 24 hours. Time that seems to fly by in the blink of an eye, never to be recaptured. Each day, you're overcoming obstacles and conquering challenges. Sometimes you want to kick it up a notch, and you could use a little extra help. Finally, there's a solution, a way to power the untapped potential that already exists in your body and mind. Presenting ASEA's Cell Performance, 3 innovative products powered by Redox that specifically target your energy, your mind, and your mood. 3 products to help you take on your next big challenge and achieve more than ever before. Revving up your body to help you amplify every hour, minute, and second of your day. Redox Energy ignites sustained physical and mental energy by helping your cells reach redox balance. Redox Mind gives your brain a boost for sustained cognitive performance so you can think more clearly and focus more easily. Redox Mood helps you find peace of mind by supporting a feeling of calmness and uplifting your mood. Make your everyday moments count while you maximize every second. Get sustained energy, enhance your brain power, and lead a life of vitality and significance. The life you deserve. ASEA's Cell Performance, powered by Redox. Feel the difference.
ASEA Redox is the first and only supplement on the market scientifically tested and shown to signal the activation of genetic pathways and to affect genes that improve immune system health, help maintain a healthy inflammatory response, help maintain cardiovascular health, improve gut health, and modulate hormone balance. Are you done with the breakdown? Reach for the breakthrough.
Are you aiming to gain admission to UP, Ateneo, LaSalle, or UST? Partner with AHEAD, the leading and most awarded tutorial and review center in the country, and we'll get you to your dream school. Visit our website to know more. Are you aiming to gain admission to UP, Ateneo, LaSalle, or UST? Partner with AHEAD, the leading and most awarded tutorial and review center in the country, and we'll get you to your dream school. Visit our website to know more.